Hey, folks, this is Lonzo, the editor of the Hub City Legend and the president of the Compton Entertainment Chamber of Commerce. In my day-to-day travels in the city of Compton, I run into a lot of interesting people. And the other day, I was in a meeting, and this lady with this pretty gray hair, to my right, I'd never seen her before. She said she was from Compton. I said, wait a minute. I know almost everybody from Compton. Let me see what she's about. And we had a brief conversation. Come to find out she's an author. Bells rung because I'm an author myself. And I introduced myself. I invited her to the podcast today, and I think you might want to meet her as well. We call her EJ. How you doing, EJ?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. You told me you are an author and you also are into self-defense. Rung two bells with me. We got to do an interview. Let's talk. Talk to me. First of all, how you connected to Compton?
Born and raised in Compton. So my parents moved to Compton when I was 6 months old, and they are still living in the same house.
Okay.
So I'm still connected. I still go back and forth.
Now, what alumni are you a part of as far as Compton? Any alumni?
Uh, well, as far as what you mean, like as far as
No
the
high
school?
school, right? You go to high
No,
school?
no, I didn't go to a high school in Compton. I did go
Okay.
to a middle school. I mean, elementary in Compton. I
Ah,
didn't go to
that'll get you through. Okay. Tell me about your protection company or your self-defense company.
So it's called Pretty and Protected, and it is a self-defense and self-protection and mental health program.
Okay.
So what I do is we host several and different workshops around that. We host firearms training, the psychology behind self-defense, um, just different methods to help women. And it's for women, so it's by me, of course, a Black woman, and it's for women to put us in rooms so that we can not only have the conversations, but also get the proper education that will get us through any situations that we may be put in. I always tell people it's either me or them. And sometimes this can be a little scary, but when you're in a situation where you have to make a decision, I would rather that these ladies know how to navigate through those. And so right
Okay.
now we're doing a lot of firearms safety and training. We take the women to the actual gun range. We first have them in the classroom where we get them familiar with the firearms. We have them hold them. We show them how to load them, how to unload them, and then we go into the range and get them comfortable with actually shooting them.
Now, what's your background in self-defense?
I started this because I was in a situation where I was getting harassed,
Okay.
and during that time, I started to try to navigate to figure out what I can do to protect myself, being a single woman, being a Black woman, navigating the world just in the spaces that I'm in. Um, it was something that, I knew that I needed to do. And once I did the training, I started with my friends and my family, and I started to share it with everybody and started to share it with the world. There were women that was like, oh, I need this. Wait, I want to be a part of that. And so that's really how I developed. I started this in 2021. And now, it's just getting bigger and better. And as I mentioned, it's also, knowing that it's not just a physical component to it. So I also teach the psychology behind mental health. And I also go talk to the kids about, the mental health as well.
Okay. Now, are you military or police, ex-police, just a sister that likes shooting at people from time to time, if necessary?
I always say it's either them or me. So if I'm put in that situation, I got to know what to do. I can't fumble. I can't be scared.
I understand. Have you ever had to use your weapon in a real life situation?
No, thank God. There has been moments that I've been home alone that I have gotten up and grabbed it because I've heard something. Thank God that it wasn't anything that I thought it was, but no, I have not. And I
I
pray
was
I would never.
I've been drinking one night. I thought I heard somebody on my roof. I would have grabbed my 357. I put a hold on my roof. It was just a cat. Anyway,
Exactly.
I almost cost myself some money behind a doggone cat. But anyway, I'm not going to stay there. Now, as you do your, what is your book about?
So actually being an author, I've produced, developed and produced journals and planners. So
Okay.
I have out journals and planners. I have a Black girl planner that I've done several different versions of. And it's a planner to really just highlight, to get women to navigate through their everyday life, but then also to highlight the different women, prestigious women that's just been in different. I show women that's like, say in one category, it may be first woman who created something, then I show a
Yeah.
woman who's living that out at this moment. And then also I have journals that I created as well. So meditation journals, mental health journals.
What happened? My your sound just went real low for a second.
I'm not sure.
You just came back. You're fine now. Okay. All
I'm
right.
like,
Okay. Not a problem.
yeah, so
Now
I don't know if you
go
heard
ahead.
the last part, but I don't know if you
Just-
heard the last part from my journals. I have
Go ahead.
mental health and meditation journals.
Oh, interesting. Very interesting. Okay. How important is meditation in your day-to-day mental health?
It's probably the top thing. When I go talk to even when I go talk to the kids, I don't care if they're in middle school. I give them breathing techniques. We go through breathing techniques because I believe that breathing and knowing how to and not just I believe, I know this. Breathing and knowing how to properly breathe, it's probably one of the most best healing mechanisms that's out there. So I teach the kids how to breathe through life situations and how to navigate through life for breathing. And I tell them, and breathing is I can say it's so simple, but I tell them the reason why I say it's simple is because you don't need any tools. It's just your body. So it's just your body. You speaking to your body and speaking to yourself.
Interesting. Okay. How long you been doing that? Writing books now?
Those journals I started in 2020 during the pandemic.
Pandemic got a lot of things started. It started me podcasting, that's for sure.
I used to podcast. I had a few podcasts a few years ago. So
Why'd you stop?
You know what? Just shifting into other stuff. I'm always doing something. I had a couple of podcast shows and I had a YouTube show as well. So, and I thought about getting back into it. So you never know.
Well, you know what? It's always welcome to share information. And that's what I do. I run the newspaper in Compton, the Hub City Legend. And I also I'm the president of the Compton Entertainment Chamber of Commerce, and which puts me in a lot of rooms with a lot of different people on a regular basis. And because I had a public access show in Compton for years, Issues in the Hood, I realized that communication line is very important, especially the local communication line, to be able to contact people or communicate with people locally.
Yeah.
And find out what they're about, what they're doing. Like I said, I never met you before. When you told me, I heard you were author. You said you were an author. Then we talked for a hot minute and said you were in the self-defense business. I'm like, she's a little small, but maybe she can whoop some ass. Let's find out.
Don't push me, okay?
I'm mad. I'm not mad. It ain't what they say. It's not the size of the dog. It's the size of not the size of the fight of the dog. It's the size of the fight dog in the fight. Whatever it was. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway. But yeah, so I love because I'm the president of the Compton Entertainment Chamber of Commerce. I like to talk to people in business and see what different angles they are, how they're achieving their goals. To maybe hopefully inspire somebody else to do something that they've been putting off for God knows how long. The pandemic changed a lot of people's lives. It made you look at things you didn't look at before. I became a teacher during the pandemic. I'm still teaching right now. So something I never thought about doing before the pandemic. So it's just, it's always good to see what else somebody else is doing and be able to exchange ideas and just stay open-minded to other opportunities.
Yeah, I really do. I believe, well, I can speak for myself. Most of the businesses or the projects or the programs that I've developed, it has come from my experiences. It's come from something that I was dealing with, I was going through. Even like I said, for the Pretty and Protected, how I started that. It's always, even me going to talk to the mental health kids, going to talk to kids about mental health or talking to students, because now I'm going to be going into the colleges and, doing more work with that. But it was a time where I was going through a crazy depression. And when they called me to come and talk, I was like, y'all, you sure? And they were like, yeah, we're looking for experts and you're the expert that's going to be talking to mental health. I was like, hold on. But God does, I believe that, it's because when I could go talk to them, I can relate to them. I'm talking from real life experience. I'm not talking from a book that I just sat down and read, And so even with my nonprofit organization, when I started that, it's called Women Blessing Women. Me working with women and growing up, I didn't really get along with girls too well like that. It was always something. So when it was placed in my spirit to do that, I was hesitant. I was like, you sure? These girls aren't really, they don't really fool with me like that guy. You sure? But look, almost 11 years later, and I've built great relationships with women through this program, through the organization. So I just believe that he puts me through all these life experiences for me to be able to develop all of this.
You know, it's two things I find is real excellent ways to develop a situation. One, through watching somebody else make mistakes, and personal experiences. Okay.
Yes.
Like you and your mental health situation, I'm a prostate cancer survivor, and I speak on prostate cancer. That's what I do. I realize there's, again, because I'm not a doctor and I experienced it, the mental anguish and the frustration and the fear for as a man to have to deal with that and the whole process, I can explain it to somebody a lot better than a doctor who just studied it. It makes a big difference. Okay.
Right.
One thing to be a patient, another thing to be a doctor. Okay.
Yep.
When you're a patient and you've experienced it firsthand, there's things that they can't teach them in that book that you experienced as a person who went through that particular trauma. And that's very important. And it makes you very relatable to your audience.
Yep. Because when they come with the questions, you don't have to go and flip through a book like, hold on, let me find the answer for you. It's in your heart. You already got it. So it comes out way genuine, and authentic than it would for you going through and reading some letters that's on the page.
Right. So I totally understand. Where can they find you at, dear?
So my Instagram is my name. So it's at Anjanette, which is ENJONETTE. And then for my businesses, it's just the names of the businesses, Pretty and Protected. It's all spelled out. And Women Blessing Women, all spelled out. All on Instagram.
Women Blessing Women and Jeanette. You said the name at the meeting that day, but you said to call you EJ. I see why.
Yes. Growing up, you could imagine in school, writing every time the teacher would come to my name, they were like, last name Baker. They could never say my name. So yeah.
Okay.
And my family, close friends call me Anja, but EJ is what has been here.
What can they see you speaking on your next speaking engagement? Anything coming up close?
Nothing big on the stage yet. I am in the works of some things, but I do have my next beginners firearms class coming up April 5th, and I do have a few seats left for that. So I do, get up and speak in that class, but that will be my next upcoming.
Where do you hold your classes?
They're in Artesia. So there's a shooting range in Artesia that we go to. So because like I mentioned, we like to do the classroom and the range. And so they have a classroom that we go in for about 2 hours. And then we just walk right to the range and go in for about 2 hours.
All right. So can you fly too, or are you just a superwoman?
A little bit. I got my wings. Don't worry about it.
You're live with Lonzo and Anjanette, aka EJ, from Pretty and Protect, and also Women Blessing Women. This is another episode of the Hub City Legend podcast as we try to share information with folks that's making things happen in the CPT. And EJ, before you leave, anything you want to say, darling?
Imagining Compton's future this Saturday. Make sure y'all register, y'all come out, bring your visions. We are going to be there. We are in the space of recreating the city of Compton. So make sure y'all come out. Now we're both a part of this. So
we're both a part of that. Okay. I'll be there. I'm gonna be in and out for a minute. I got double booked that day, but I'll be there at some point in time. I think she got me speaking. Hopefully got me speaking late. Anyway, I'll see you on Saturday, dear. In the meantime, thanks for coming out and hanging out with me for a few minutes. EJ, folks, Pretty and Protect. Much love to you, babe.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.